Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and we're doing the next two witnesses of the Casey Anthony trial. Now before I go into the next witness, Jeff Hopkins, I would like to point out my mistake. I actually thought Jeff Hopkins was made up, but he isn't. He is a real person. It was just that their friendship, their relationship, whatever Casey said was all fake, and everything she said about him was fake, so I do apologise. So, the next witness, Jeffrey Hopkins, he first met Casey in middle school, and he would describe their relationship as more of an acquaintance and not good friends or friends really. He worked at Universal Studios for 1 year. He doesn't think he worked there when Casey worked there, and he never saw her there. He never introduced her to Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, and he doesn't have any children. He didn't see Casey in the month of June 2008, but he did see her in July of 2008. He saw her at the Waterford Lake Ale House, and that was on the 2nd of July. He did speak to Casey, just said, "Hi, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while." They exchanged numbers, and that was it really. Casey did text after this initial meeting, but it was more like a group text because it was about Fusion, so I'm presuming it was her doing her promotion for the club nights for Tony. Casey never told him that Zenaida had taken her daughter, and Jeff was aware of Kaylee, but he'd never met her. The cross-examination, Jeffrey's middle name is not Michael. He's not sure if Casey had a crush on him at middle school, and he's not sure if he had one on her, although he said she was attractive. Law enforcement contacted him when everything happened, and he told them he didn't have a child named Zachary. He is not rich from a trust fund, and he did not have a girlfriend called Zenaida. He never introduced a Zenaida to Casey. Basically, pretty much everything Casey had said about him was a lie, which I know, it's a shock. He does not know what happened to Kaylee. The only thing he has to do with this is for the fact that he sort of knew her at high school, but yet again it's someone else that Casey's brought into this mess of hers that is just totally innocent. The redirect, law enforcement first contacted Jeff on the 15th of July. He spoke to them once at his house and then at the Orange County Sheriff's Office weeks later. He does not know anyone called Zenaida Gonzalez. So, the next witness is Leonard Tutura. He works at loss prevention at Universal. He's been there for 5 years. And as loss prevention deals with theft, he deals with law enforcement a lot. Yuri went to speak to him at Universal on the 16th of July because Yuri wanted to know if they had an employee named Casey Marie Anthony. Leonard looked into the staff database and found that they currently have no one working there by the name of Casey Marie Anthony. He also looked into past employees to see if Casey, worked through a third party, which meant a company that worked there that wasn't owned by Universal. And this was Colourvision, Kodak, and Colourvision are the people that take photographs of you at the park and you buy them. So at that time Casey was not employed by Colourvision, and Casey's last date of employment was April of 2006. So what she's been doing, I don't know. Yuri also gave Leonard another 3 names to check. Jeff Hopkins, which he had been employed by Universal. Yet next was Juliette Lewis. There was no record of employment for her. And Zenaida Gonzalez, and there was also no record of employment for her. Leonard was also asked to validate email addresses. He couldn't validate any of the addresses he was given. At some point during the 16th, Leonard had the opportunity to meet with Casey via telephone. This was after he was unable to verify she worked there. Then Yuri asked for officers to bring her to Universal. Leonard met with Casey and Yuri at the Universal security office. Leonard asked Casey if she was a current employee, and she said she was. So he asked if she had an ID on her, which she didn't. Leonard then spoke to the security officer and explained they needed to get to Casey's building and that she didn't have ID with her. The security officer asked if she knew her employee number. Guess what? She didn't. They then asked her what department she worked in, and Casey said events. They asked if that was marketing or entertainment, and she said it was a little bit of both, which Leonard says couldn't be true. Of course, it couldn't be true. They then tried to look her up by name. The database again showed she wasn't a current employee, yet Casey carries on with the facade. Casey was then asked for her supervisor's name, which she said was Thomas Manley, which, again, I'm sure you've guessed it already, they could not find. They then go through security. Casey points to a building which Leonard knew had nothing to do with events planning. They went inside, and Yuri started to look around and asked if they were in the events building, at which point Leonard says that Casey put her hands in her back pocket, looked at him and said, "I don't work here." Leonard then took them to a conference room, which Yuri and two other detectives and Casey went into. Leonard didn't stay with them. He says he stayed. They stayed in there for about 30 to 45 minutes. He then escorted them all out of Universal. Cross-examination. So a different attorney gets up, and I really don't know if he's any worse or more worse than Baez, because he's seriously annoying the hell out of me. He's saying that because he and Yuri already knew Casey wasn't an employee at Universal, taking her there was a sham. Really? What Casey was doing was a sham. They were just getting her to admit she'd been lying all along and didn't actually work there. He says they were all pretending and acting. I mean, it's just getting beyond ridiculous. And I know defence lawyers have a job to do, but attacking innocent witnesses that are just doing what they've been asked to do is just wrong. They were sucked into this. You know, that they're not guilty of anything. And then he asked what the dimensions of the conference room were. Casey was the only one acting and pretending, no one else. The redirect. Casey knew when she arrived at Universal that day, she knew she did not work there. She knew the whole damn time. As they were walking out of the grounds, he heard Casey ask if they had looked in any other states to find missing children. Unbelievable. So there we go. Couple of revelations in there. A lot of stuff that we knew the answers to, but they've now been exposed to the court. So, yeah, I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye for now.